Hey guys, welcome to the Real DVD Watchers. This week, rather than reviewing just one movie, I figured I'd review three, because I've watched three in the past couple of days, and figured I'd give you my thoughts on them, and rather than doing one big long review, I'm just going to do a couple of short ones. So, first movie I'm going to review is Bruno, starring Sacha Baron Cohen. Obviously, Sacha Baron Cohen has created characters in the past, Borat, Ali G. This is the newest one, Bruno. If you've seen the Ali G show, you've probably seen perhaps bits of Bruno in that, but basically Bruno is a kind of well, at the start of the movie anyway, he's the head of this like fashion program, and he's kind of like the top of his game and stuff. And he ends up being fired, and he travels to America to try and get famous. And it's in a way, it's kind of America's attitude to gay people, I guess. I don't know, to this character, and he winds people up, and it's kind of like Borat, but with a different character. With this gay fashion expert character, Bruno, and the different ways he tries to get famous is he tries to make a sex tape with this politician guy, which just goes wrong. He adopts a baby from Africa and appears on like a talk show, and I think halfway through the film or towards the end, he decides the best way to get famous is to turn straight, and then so the second half of the movie is about him trying to turn straight, and you can kind of see where the film's going by the end of it. But it was a mixed bag for me. The first half hour I felt was kind of over the top and kind of extreme, and I didn't really like it that much. I wasn't like offended by it or anything, nothing like that. I just didn't. I just thought it was a bit stupid. I felt it was kind of cheap, and I didn't like it. But then the second half of the movie, or sort of after the half-hour point, kind of when it focuses more on like the public reactions, because the best part of Borat, when that came out, was like the public's reactions to the character and stuff, and Borat wasn't perhaps the funnier character in it. It was like the public and stuff and the people that appeared in the film. That's the parts of this movie that are really funny as well. Like my favourite scene in the movie is when he tries to join the army. Really funny scene. Bits like that. That's where this movie really is funny. It should be more stuff like that. I don't like the stage parts, and I just don't find that funny compared to the stuff where you have like the reaction from the people. But the last half of this movie is really good. I really enjoyed it, and if I have to give this a rating, probably 7 out of 10. The Blu-ray, by the way, is really good. It's got an enhanced commentary, which basically is where you have in the bottom corner, you'll have like Sacha Baron Cohen and like the director or something talking about the movie halfway through, but they like pause it and they intervene like making of stuff, and it's just a really, really good commentary. The next movie I'm going to review is The Eye 2. If you haven't seen The Eye 1, it doesn't really matter, because this movie is basically completely different from that film. You could watch it without seeing The Eye. Basically, this movie shouldn't be called The Eye 2. It should be called like, well, I don't know what it should be called, but it's like The Eye, like an alternative version of The Eye, I guess. It's just a different way. Basically, if you haven't seen the first movie, that was about this woman who was blind, and she inherited the eyes of a psychic who could see dead people, and that's how she ended up seeing dead people. This movie is about a girl who, her name's Joey, and she tries to commit suicide, but she's actually pregnant, which is like a sin. It's a dreadful sin, it says on the back, and in turn, it ends up with her being able to see ghosts. But actually, this movie's got this whole other thing about, I think it's about, is it Buddhism or something? Where basically what happens is she finds out that every time a child is born, a ghost tries to crawl in and like enter the body of that child being born to be reincarnated. And when she finds out that this person's trying to be reincarnated in her baby, she kind of, it's very complicated to explain, but this movie it was quite good. It wasn't as good as the first one. It had a really great ending. It had some interesting twists and some interesting set pieces and stuff. Overall, The Eye, which I've not got to show you right now, but The Eye is really good, and you should definitely check that out, which is also directed by the Pang brothers. This one, not so good, but if you like the first one, I highly recommend checking this out. Even if you haven't seen the first one, you might want to give this a go, but I would recommend that one more than this. This was still quite good. So that's The Eye 2. It's I Love You Man. I love this film. It's really good. I wasn't expecting it to be amazing. I picked this up really cheap the other day. I wanted to get it on Blu-ray, but never mind, I got it on DVD. It stars Paul Rudd, and it's basically about this guy who is getting married, and it comes to like the wedding day, and he realises that he hasn't got any friends that are guys, so he hasn't got anyone to be his best man. So his parents and his fiancée, I guess, start setting him up with these guys to be his friend, and he ends up meeting someone at a house viewing, because he's I don't know what you call it, I guess in the UK you call it like an estate agent. I don't know if you call it like a realtor. He sells houses basically. So yeah, what was I saying? He sells houses. He meets Jason Segel's character, whose name is, well, it doesn't say on the back, which is a bit stupid. But basically, he meets this guy who he ends up really liking and wants to be his friend. And it's just about them, kind of their relationship, and how their friendship kind of starts to get in the way of his relationship, Paul Rudd's relationship with his fiancée. Really, really funny movie. A lot of really great scenes in this. I'm trying to remember some of them, like the slap of the bass scene, awesome. And yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I would recommend it. I like Paul Rudd. I think he's really funny, and I like a lot of the movies in. I think he's a very likable kind of actor. And Jason Segel's really funny as well. You might have seen him in, I think he's in How I Met Your Mother, but I've seen him in like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's the main thing I guess I know him from. But Paul Rudd's been in a lot of comedies, and this is kind of, it's not so much your kind of super bad kind of comedy like a Judd Apatow kind of film. It's more like, I don't know, if you like role models, I guess kind of role models similar to this. It's just, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend this. I think it's really funny.